let's make a preview so I can show you what I did. This is basically a circle moving over these guys, or rather, it's not. The circle is actually, there's a dot here, and it's actually not moving over these guys. It's moving over the image map, the texture itself. So whenever a black dot covers a texture, this morph will twist. Now, okay, so how's that done? It's basically done by creating a morph. And that's that. And creating a UV map. Now, the UV map, it doesn't really matter how it looks. You just gotta scale the UV map down. So, for example, all these dots, I've scaled down that UV map to one single point by using the scale tool. So whenever a black circle moves over this guy, it will actually animate that morph. If the black dot moves over this guy, it will animate that morph. So that's how it's done. To get that to work, I'm using normal displacement. You also have this in the node editor. Okay, so displacement direction is not the normals, but the morph map. It's very important to make sure you got that. And then the morph map should be, well, the only morph view, or the twisted morph. So turn me, some morph name for that. And then we hit texture. Now you might think that, okay, so what if I just use a procedural texture and just add and just move that procedural in the XY or in the X or Z, but that just creates it like a drunk motion like this. So probably you don't want to do that. Let's see how that looks kind of weird. So how do you do it then? Well, it's a bit more tricky. This is a white image, so you might say, no, it's not, because there's a black dot here. But trust me, this is a white image. So this is the UV map that I created in Modeler. UV texture and white PNG image. But there's a black dot here, so what's going on? If this is a white image, why is that black dot there? That black dot there is actually a textured filter. So this is basically a procedural map or procedural texture projected onto the Y of this image. So that's what makes this work, this thing. So this image, just like a Photoshop image, really. So the textured filter is basically just a Photoshop filter, same thing. It just creates, the stuff on the image itself, and it does that by using something LightWave already has, a surface editor, texture editor, and so what I did here, I made a scale of this one, 222, and the position, I animated it. So now, because I'm using marker pen and using a pen reference, a null called mark, you would think that you could move this one around, and then that would move around as well, but it doesn't work that way in the image editor, because it's basically a filter. That's why it doesn't work. So the way you have to move this black dot around is actually to move the position of that. Now this is just a black dot, and I don't know how I would do that actually. In LightWave itself, I only got dots. I don't have one single dot, so I had to use marker pen for this. So that's that. That's why I used marker pen. Anyway, so the position is animated by using, well, by making this envelope here. Let's see. So in this case, I only animated it in what? The set position. Right? Yeah. So nothing more. The good thing, I guess, would be to have, you know, to tie these channels onto a null. Probably I can use some kind of channel follower cycler, something like that, in order to get that to work. Yeah, should work, I think. Not going to do that now, though. But that way, it would be easier to animate this. It would just make that animation here be based on that, on a null. But anyway, that's how you animate it, so it works like that. One thing that I found was that you have to turn this one on, or it won't work. It will just, the preview will work, but not the animation. So animate filters, it's important to have that on. Yeah, I'll share the scene so you can have a look if you want. But also you could do this kind of stuff, I guess, in by using depont, polymove, part move, and also you could use bones, I guess. You know, just create a skeleton. I got a video on that, how to create skeletons easily based on geometry. So you could just basically create some points here and clone the skeleton, I guess, and then you could weight those skeletons automatically using Vertex Paint or something like that. I got a video on that too. Somewhere. Because you have to Google my videos if you want to have a look at that. So that would be even easier, I guess, using bones, you know, to make these heads turn. But maybe sometimes you don't want to use that. So you got part move by depont, you got polymove, you got skeletons, and you got this method to make this work. I just want to add one thing here, is that in this case I can actually subdivide polygons and just, for example, use face first and then metaform. It looks like that. Now if I jump now back here, it will still work. So that's kind of cool. But it's really up to you how you wanna go about stuff like this. For getting heads to turn, I guess using skeletons could be better, as you could you can make those skelegons look at, for example, a null. You can make the skelegons target a null, so the heads would always target it, and that would make more sense, I guess. Well, this is an alternative, which is kind of interesting in a way, I guess. Yeah. So very important, though, to use all the correct settings here. So I'm going to share this scene if someone is interested in pulling that apart and experimenting with it. That could be a -2, I guess, because, you know, if you do something wrong, then, well. So, but anyway, I thought I should show it, that it's possible to do this. Thanks to Larry, by the way, because I think he was the one that first talked about that textured filter thing.